Hello everybody, welcome to StraightA, Dawson here, back with another parlay video going into week 4, but we're going to take a quick look back at the previous week's bets and see where I went wrong, see some of the things, and I honestly don't see myself getting much better because apparently the NFL is so unpredictable, which go figure, you know, with these high odd amounts, or the high odd amounts for winning a bunch of money. Who would have figured that maybe it's likely that you're not going to improve a whole lot at a time? So anyway, so at the point, I thought the Giants could cover a big plus 10.5 spread. Unfortunately, was incorrect. Vikings blew a game against the Chargers, which of course was very unfortunate. Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns was a kind of more of a brawl game. The spread, I mean, Buffalo Bills and the Commanders felt like that was a good spread to take in that case. Falcons and Lions, I think they got pretty close from what I remember to that point range. I can't remember exactly. I guess maybe not that close. I think it was actually more of a mid game. So they unfortunately did not get to over on the points there. Denver Broncos, that was more of a hopeful one anyway, so I'll take the loss there. Saints and Packers. Packers did not cover that close spread at all because I think, anyway, Colts did cover the Baltimore Ravens spread because they won. So pretty cool there. Patriots did cover the spread against Jets, which makes sense. I thought it was going to be about a 3 to 5 point game. Texans and Jacksonville did not actually Jacksonville got destroyed. Texans put up like 37 points or something. So makes sense there. Make sense, I guess. Panthers and Seattle Seahawks did have a pretty good game with the over there. The under for Chicago and Kansas City. Kansas City absolutely destroyed them, so went up a lot more. There's a lot of destroyed games this week, so a lot of the over-unders were kind of unfortunate in that regard. Dallas Cowboys and Arizona Cardinals did go over on that amount too, because again, the Cardinals actually put up a pretty good fight, so they actually ended up going just above it, I believe. Pittsburgh did win, and Eagles did win. Pretty safe stuff there. And then I thought the Rams would win, but Bengals actually pulled out the victory, which is good for them. This week, the same game parlay was, of course, for the Vikings and Chargers game. Justin Jefferson did get a touchdown. I did have him getting 2 touchdowns, I believe, in this one, though, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, he did not get 2. That was going to be his game to kind of really break off, but go figure. Joshua Kelly getting the first team touchdown score was also very unfortunate. I mean, he just has not performed up to the standard of what I believe he can. I believe Keenan Allen got the score there, which was very valid. I guess I could have predicted it was going to be more of a passing game, but, go figure. Kirk Cousins did go over his passing amount, which, I mean, if you look at his past few games, that amount makes a lot of sense when you kind of look at the averages. Justin Herbert also went over, which was, again, surprising that both of them went over on that amount, which, fair enough, but still. Jordan Addison did get over his 49.5. Again, it was a very heavy passing game. Chargers ended up with 28 points, I believe, so just over that amount, 0.5. Kirk Cousins did get over 1.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. Total points in the first half was a little bit on the lower side, but they picked it up near the second half. I guess it was about the same. Whatever. Justin Jefferson, of course, did not get a first half touchdown. He got a second half touchdown, and that's about it for this one. So a little bit more of a, I need to go all in on one side or another, and I went all in. I did not go all in on it being a big passing game. Obviously, I said Justin Jefferson was getting 2 touchdowns, but I predicted it was going to be a lower, yardage game. So maybe, again, logicking these together to make them all make sense. Because I mean, if I don't hit one, I shouldn't hit any of them. So kind of going all in on one kind of narrative is really what I need to do. Then, of course, I did really bad in my 8-leg regular parlay that I put in after I kind of fumbled the bag last week before that, and I even fumbled it even harder this week with. Said Minnesota was going to win the half, did not. Falcons said they were going to win the half, did not. Stephon Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Breece Hall, DK, Brandon Cooks, and Cole Kmet, anytime touchdowns. None of them did, because I used my bonus bet on this one. They did not get any touchdown scores for this one, so kind of unfortunate, I guess. Beside the point, yeah, none of those guys got a touchdown, which is very unfortunate. I mean, a lot of these guys were more safe options. Stephon Diggs, DK, and I guess it's only 2 safe ones. Brandon Cooks, I thought would kind of get a comeback game, but obviously we saw from Dallas that game they were doing kind of poor. Breece Hall I thought was going to kind of do more of a run, be more explosive, I guess. Did not get that. Jerry Jeudy I thought he was going to make a slight comeback in a high-scoring game against Dolphins. Unfortunately not. And Cole Kmet thought he'd be more of a focal point with a hard Kansas City team. I was wrong there as well. Almost forgot that I do have another little parlay that, of course, I had to kind of implement halfway through, which I don't know if I exactly went over, but those are kind of the ones I selected. I believe because of Darren Waller did not get that touchdown on Thursday night that I'm not going to really go over all these because I kind of already did before, because I think I explained it in the last video. If I didn't, that's why I kind of went on the whole screen. Again, kind of played some narratives that I thought would kind of be true. Evidently, a lot of them not. Kind of notable ones. Again, A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown score. I guess I didn't go over the results of them, so I guess I'll go over that real quick. Jared Goff, of course, it was a lower passing game. Desmond Ridder, I knew would do a little bit better than the under there, or the under mark they had there. Or I talked about Darren Waller. He just wasn't utilization of the Giants. Amari Cooper did get his touchdown, which was really cool, near the end of the game, I believe. Josh Allen did not get over 1.5 touchdowns because they were just so far ahead. They started running the ball. Chicago and Kansas City Chiefs, I thought would get under that. No, they absolutely destroyed the Bears. Thought they would kind of hold a lead near the high 20s, and evidently wrong. Tony Pollard was not a big factor. Well, I guess he was a big factor in those Cowboys Arizona Cardinals, but not in the very first score at least. And then A.J. Brown and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers led. I felt pretty good about that one. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown just did not have the touchdown game. He had a good yardage game, but otherwise. This week, unfortunately, I do have one parlay that's already dead in the water. That is my 9-player parlay. The one that got me was Jordan Love having over 16.5 rushing yards. I thought with short lines having a good pass rush, maybe he would kind of get flushed out a couple times. He's already had good rushing games before, but I guess it kind of had the opposite effect of, like, they were so good at containing him, he didn't really get any rushing yards. So unfortunate, but I mean, I'll take that L, and I do have a tiny bonus, but I didn't do any parlay to replace it. But it's unfortunate, but Jordan Love has been known to go over 16.5 rushing yards, so I thought it was pretty safe. Oh, evidently not. Going to the other one, Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco. Rashee Rice, I believe, is going to be more of a focus point. He almost got a touchdown last week, and I believe he's going to kind of come in a little bit more. He's a little bit higher of a bet, of course, but I have confidence that maybe he can get a touchdown score in this Jets game. Isaiah Pacheco, again, they're going to be running the ball at some point during this game a lot. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be the guy, get over 52.5 yards. Trevor Lawrence over 13.5 rushing yards. Again, he's been hitting that over mark barely, but he's been hitting it. Atlanta Falcons is kind of more of a secondary type team, so maybe he's able to get out of the pocket using that Jordan Love thought process, kind of into a different effect. So hopefully it works out in this one. James Cook, of course, Buffalo, I think, will have to rely on the run game a little bit, not just the pass game, because I think this is going to be a very pass-heavy game. But I believe if Buffalo wants to do anything, both teams are going to have to utilize the run game a little bit. I think James Cook is a slightly better running back than what the Dolphins have. Meanwhile, Pat Freiermuth, under 32.5 yards. He has been kind of hitting that under mark a little bit more. He's been kind of a little bit over, but he's been mostly in that under area for his yardage. Jerry Jeudy, again, I'm banking on Jerry Jeudy doing well, or coming back in, kind of saying, hey, by the way, I'm a receiver on this team. It's going to do really well. So I'm kind of banking on Jerry Jeudy finally getting that week. Cardinals over 14.5 total points. I believe that they're actually going to perform pretty decently well against 49ers. Not much more than 14.5. That's a hard line, to be honest with you. But I think that's going to be like a 30 to 15, 16 type game is kind of what I'm predicting. But I think the Cardinals will put up a fight. And then the first half total for Giants and Seahawks, I believe it's going to be more of a fiery first half between those two teams. It feels like the Giants have had struggles in the first half, so maybe Seahawks will take advantage of that and either get off to a really good head start, or the Giants will kind of help pick up in the first half. So either way, I think the first half will be more explosive. Either way, that one's kind of dead in the water. But we're going to quickly go through the other parlays I have. 16-leg parlay. Of course, if you've seen the predictions video, a lot of this is kind of similar to that. So Detroit money line hit, so we're good there. Jacksonville, I believe, is going to easily cover the spread. Minus 3 points is pretty good. They're in London, which I know in the predictions video I said Jacksonville, but it's London. Under 53.5 points, which is very aggressive. I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game, but like 53.5 is really aggressive for that, so maybe I'd rather take the under there. And plus, I don't like any of the other spreads or the money lines for either team. Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, is easy money line. I think it's a little bit closer than it should be, but you know, take the easy money line. Rams, I think that will actually beat the Colts, which I'm kind of surprised Colts are favored here. So I just went ahead and took the spread. Then you have the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, I guess I could have put money line for them instead and got higher odds or better odds for the money thing, but I think I can't remember exactly. I guess there is a chance that the Colts could win, is what I thought, and covering the plus 1.5 spread maybe made me feel a little bit more comfortable. But either way, the Rams, I think, are going to take that pretty easily. Eagles getting minus 8.5. Commanders showed me they cannot cover spreads worth crap, so I'm going to go with the spread for the Eagles in this one. Tampa Bay +3 on the Saints. I think they have a real shot of winning this. +3 is pretty aggressive. Denver Broncos money line. They have to win a game sometime, and everything else had really bad odds in that one. So, or over under, I didn't like either. Under 40.5 again. Ravens Browns do have good offenses in some aspects, but I think it's going to be more of a divisional type boom pow type game. A lot of their previous games have gone over 40.5, but I felt much more comfortable with their defenses the way they are going under. Minnesota Vikings winning money line. That's a pretty easy one. Bengals for me. Also, I think money line. I didn't like any of the spreads for either one of these with over unders. Under 48.5 for Las Vegas and Los Angeles. I think they do tend to go in that 40 range a lot, but this time around, I think with the Chargers coaching staff the way it is and the Raiders offense the way it is, the points are going to be harder to get this time around. And we'll see what happens exactly. I could be wrong, but divisional rival, I feel like this is going to be more of a low-key game for these two teams rather than the high-octane game. Under the 43.5 mark for Patriots and Dallas Cowboys. These are two very strong defenses, and I was kind of surprised that 43.5 was the mark because I think I've seen high defenses 39.5. So it could definitely hit. Obviously, all these could definitely hit one way or the other, but I feel pretty confident there. Cardinals, I know, I can't remember if they covered the spread last week, but Cardinals at +14 with the San Francisco 49ers. They've been doing really well against teams recently and covering some spreads. So I'm going to go +14. That's 2 scores. I don't know if I would have done +10 or anything like that, but this spread felt really good for a weaker Cardinals team on a strong 49ers team. It just felt like they could do it. So take that as you will. Kansas City, New York. This could definitely be a blowout again, where the Bears, kind of a Bears thing, where Kansas City basically puts up 38 of the points or something like that. But I feel like the Jets have a better defense, a competent coaching staff, and it's really offense that will kind of slow them down. So I don't see New York scoring a whole lot on Kansas City. Maybe they get. Oh, there goes that dismiss. I'll be right back. Yeah, Kansas City, New York. Again, I don't see New York scoring a whole lot, and Kansas City, I think, is just overall. Going to have a little bit harder of a time in New York Jets. So I think it's going to be closer under than the Bears were. Seattle, New York, I think Seattle's going to win it, but +1.5 maybe feel a little bit more comfortable. Plus, I think I had a hard time with a lot of spreads this week. So I think I also decided some of the spreads were a little bit easier to take with some of these games than the money line or over under. Anyway, this is my bonus bet for the week because they, oops. Let's go back real quick. Boop, boop, boop. This is my +10 bet, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna find a really high odd thing and put the $10 on and get 2,400, whatever. Each team to score 1 field goal, a touchdown in all the Sunday games except for Jacksonville and Falcons, basically. I just feel confident there are gonna be some higher scoring games. There are a couple teams, because it's each team, not each game, that I have some worries on in scoring those points. I think one was Jets. I was kind of nervous about. Cardinals could have a tough time, but I'm less nervous about them. All the other teams I feel fairly confident on. So I just thought that was a decent one that was high odds against it to maybe do my bonus bet on for the week. So that just felt like a nice little fun throw-in one. Meanwhile, on the same game parlay, Stephon Diggs getting anytime touchdown, Tyreek Hill. So this is the Bills Dolphins game, most interesting game of the week by far. Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill are the two main focus weapons on both those teams. They're each going to get a touchdown. Josh Allen, I think, is going to have to rely on rushing a little bit. Again, I think it's more, while I think the defensive line for the Dolphins are fine, I think it's the secondary, and I don't know. I felt confident because Josh Allen's been able to hit that mark, and I think he's going to utilize that game a lot too. So I'm fairly confident in that regard. Gabe Davis, I do think this is receptions now, over 3.5 receptions. I think they're going to utilize some. I think both teams will have to utilize a little bit of all their receivers, not just Stephon Diggs. I think they'll still be the main focus points, but I think everybody's going to get a little bit of love this game. Tyreek Hill, I believe, will get kind of a fast touchdown. I mean, he's just typically how he does is a fast touchdown scorer. I think Dolphins will get over 25.5 points because I do think they're going to end up winning by probably about a full score. Stephon Diggs will be a heavy part of the receiving game. Like I said earlier, 80.5 felt normal, and he's been able to hit that consistently. Dawson Knox is kind of an afterthought on the Bills, so I think under 22.5. I don't think he's gotten above 20, period, this whole season. And Dalton Kincaid is my riskiest one with +2 touchdowns. So of course I had to make this somehow kind of be better odds because I think before this was like $200. I think adding Dalton Kincaid added like 600 to it. So Yeah, I'm going with that purely for two reasons. One, I think he has been more involved in the passing game, and I realize now that I've already given the Bills 3 touchdowns, which actually realize probably not very good for me. Now I think about it. Otherwise, Dalton Kincaid is in one of my leagues as my tight end, and I'd rather him do a lot of those scores. But beside the point, I do think that they're going to utilize more of a different kind of offense if they want to keep up with Miami. A lot of the bets were on Bills because there really wasn't a whole lot on Miami besides like Jalen Waddle, who I wasn't sure was going to be in the game. Well, I think he is, but I wasn't sure. But Tua didn't have much except for some bad over-unders. Oh, excuse me, that was a bad voice crack. Some bad over-unders with his passing yards and passing touchdowns. Otherwise, nothing really vibed with me on the Dolphins side of things. So, kind of decided to go on the Bills side of things. Dalton Kincaid I do think he's going to get a touchdown. I'm not sure about 2, though. It's kind of a lot to ask for since I think TJ Hawkinson is the only one that get 2 touchdowns in the game from a tight end at least. And that's it for my same game parlay. And that's it for all my parlays for week 4. We'll see what happens and how they hit. Otherwise, I have my ESPN Eliminator. I still have 7 teams. I lost 3 teams last week to the Cowboys, Jaguars, and Ravens all losing their games, which were all very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Beside the fact, I'm going back to my +7, so my top 7 teams for the week are now. We're getting to that point where I'm going to be more focused in on some of these teams. 49ers, I feel very confident winning their game against the Cardinals. Chiefs, I feel very confident about them winning their game. Vikings as well, I think are my next one up. I think they have to get their win eventually, and the Panthers may be it. The Eagles have been a high-octane team. They're going to keep their undefeated streak for a hot minute. The Steelers, I feel like have been really a lot better than people give them credit for. Give me it as my 6th pick, and then 5th pick. And Jaguars and Broncos. Broncos kind of on the edge because I feel like this game they should easily win, but maybe not. And the Jaguars are in London. Feels like an easy win, but also the Falcons are a decently good team, so they could have some struggles. I expect to go down to 5 teams going into week 5, and at that point we're going to be really focused in. As soon as I get to the top 5, that's when I'm really kind of dialed in. And of course, I can only choose one team for each one of these once. So once we kind of get to that point, I may be struggling a little bit more, but each one of these has their own different path. So luckily, that helps me expand a little bit. So 25 entries helps me get to a point in the season where I feel comfortable, which week 5 feels like a good part of the season because of bye weeks and stuff like that starting to happen. And overall, I feel fairly good about all of this for this week. Maybe I'll even keep all 7, and then we get another week of safeguarding. Anyway, beside the point, this is kind of a quicker video from me. I got to get somewhere pretty quickly, but please continue watching the videos. Let me know if you like anything and what you want to see down below. Still figuring out Monday series, so it's maybe going on for a hot minute. So you're just going to see some random one-off videos for a few weeks now until I get something going for that. Otherwise, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, everything you want to do. Stick around and watch the videos. And StraightA Dawson is out. See you guys.